don't know. I think that demons are ghosts, but I also think that aliens are demons as well.
Okay.
Aliens are evil beings. But if that's true, then how can an alien be God? But see, the thing about that is the word God means the one in power. So if you really think about it, I'm just kidding. That's not what it means. I was just going off my head there. But
No, I like it because really nobody can dispute your opinion because I don't think not a freaking soul knows the truth.
yeah,
Nobody does. So
yeah,
we can make these
nobody.
intellectual opinions and thoughts on our own and say, hey, it's free will. I'm a free thinker. That's what I
Yeah.
believe. And I think that's cool. I respect that. That's awesome. Because
Yeah.
everybody's got their own beliefs. And I'm actually trying to go back to church and trying to become a converted Catholic. My wife's Catholic, and one of my daughters is Catholic. And I'm trying to go back to school. So I go to classes every Sunday, and we debate, and we talk, and we try to learn. And last week, I was like, ugh, I probably shouldn't have said all that. But that's how I believe, though. I just believe if you're
Right.
good to people and you are not evil, and evil's, you have to do a lot of bad stuff, I think, to be completely evil. Because every human makes mistakes.
Yeah.
And there's
Yeah.
things, I don't think you can be like, you can just, one thing is going to damn a person forever. You can't like say, oh, he did that, so forget him. I mean, there's certain people that's pretty bad. Hitler was bad. People like that. But
Hitler was also a meth addict. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah, yeah. He was a meth addict. That's why he was so driven. And that's
He was like, wow.
that's a really good voice. I thought I was on the air with Hitler for a second.
Yeah, he's kind of scary, but I don't like him. But I'm really fascinated by when I see him. Like I've seen like 4 or 5 documentaries on World War II, and I love him. And I'm fascinated by the dude. He was so crazy.
Yeah.
And there's a show called Hunting Hitler on, I think it's a History Channel or Discovery Channel, something like that. And they went to Argentina trying to find evidence of these Nazis that moved to Argentina after World War II to hide from all these people trying to chase them and kill them and put them in prison and stuff. But they really don't have very solid evidence. But I think it's pretty intriguing to learn about him. He was crazy.
Yeah.
And there's a show
crazy.
called, it's on Amazon Prime, it's called Man in the High Castle. That is a show showing if like Japanese and Germans won the war, what the world would be like today. And I started watching the first episode. It's so cool.
It'd be an insurrectionist world, dude.
It would be awful.
It really
It was
would.
terrible. I watched the first episode. I'm like, man, this is going to be depressing. I don't know if I'm in the mood to watch this, but it looks pretty cool.
Let me say something here. I think that the reason Hitler became such a bad person, and who's to say, I'm not trying to say that he is right for doing what he did, but who's to say he isn't? I mean, for his people, for him in his mind, I mean, his family probably even supported him. In that sense, he was right for doing what he wanted to do because he saw power in his people and he wanted to use that power.
Yeah, and really, and not to talk over you, but after World War I, the United States and France and Britain, they split up. They took everything away from Germany. They took their land and they made them pay a bunch of money. And then they were poor as heck. Like everybody had that Great Depression after World War I. They had a terrible depression, and they were poor, and they couldn't find a leader, and they really didn't like him at first. But he was just so pumped, and he was just they're so fiery. They followed him.
Exactly.
Yeah, and he wanted land, and he wanted. But what he did with the Jews was really bad. But yeah. But
he was the spark for his people. He was the spark of hope for them.
I know, and I think that's the only reason they followed him is because he did that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, that's why it's bleepy off talk radio. I mean, you can say what you want, and people are like, "Oh my God, this guy's awful." But guess what? Hey, you don't know our names, so screw it. Screw you. So
um, I think here's the dealio. Why is it that, I mean, this one's really going to get a lot of people bleeped off, but why is it that America is always fighting other people's battles, but we can't fight our own war here?
I agree. It's terrible. Like,
why is it that our government has been shut down, but we're still sending government troops out to fight other wars that need to be fought here?
I agree.
Why is it that every other homeland hasn't invaded us, but we were always the first to act? Why is it that we are always greedy? Power.
I know, because we make it look like we're not, but we are. Like, we just send constant millions of dollars and millions of troops just going over there for a cause that's never going to be solved, ever. They hate us.
Billions and billions.
And hate us. They hate us, and they never will. I don't care what anybody says. I argued with a guy at work the other day. I said, It's a joke. They go, well, we're helping. People can't help themselves. What's going to matter? They still don't like us because we're meddling in someone else's yard.
Exactly.
We're basically pooping in someone's yard. We're letting the dog take a big old crap in your yard.
We're basically shitting on their porch and lighting it on fire and knocking on the door and running.
Yes.
And hell, we'll even their doorbell. And just run. You know what I'm saying? That's what we do.
It's terrible. It does no good. It does no good. And then when we leave, it'll probably just get taken over by whoever they want to take over. It doesn't matter what we do. Yeah. Millions of dollars and millions of dollars in debt. And then China gets bigger and stronger. And they have a huge army. And they're really getting big. Their military's getting huge. And they scare me to death.
Yeah.
That's another topic. But they're scary.
Yeah. It's so crazy, dude, because Europe could have finished us off if they really wanted to.
Yeah, they could have.
All of Europe could have finished us off.
If they wanted to, man.
Exactly. They could have done that a long time ago. But you know what? They didn't make the first move because they were probably under the impression that America would stop oppressing their nation.
Yeah.
And so they were like, okay, we'll just terrorize our own nation and leave America alone. Then here comes America. Hey, you guys can't do that here. What are you talking about? This is our land. Get out of here. Or boots. And you know, it's just, it really creates this big dogma, and it's got everybody in a big hussy fussy fit here. And that's why our government is shutting down, because the government resembles lions. And we resemble the dumb baboons that are tearing each other apart one by one. And the lions are eating peacefully in their den, and they're hitting it and quitting it every night, and they're eating it.
Well, I got something else. We can keep going on that too, but what do you think about guns? I want to hear a young person's opinion about guns. I've changed my opinion over and over, man.
I think that they shouldn't have taken assault. I don't think that the Congress should have approved the chunk of them taking guns away from us, or the assault rifle class anyway.
Okay.
I do think that every citizen who is under the title of North America should be able to carry a weapon. Now, I mean, we can't really enforce it, because guns don't kill people. People kill people.
That's true.
I mean, if you put a gun on a table and leave it alone, it's not going to shoot all over the place. And let's be honest, unless the trigger was probably stuck or glued to the hilt. But that's fine. But you know what? That's my opinion on that.
Yeah,
that's.
I've had a lot of people with alternate opinion. Well, the same opinion you have. Like, I was just trying to debate with a buddy of mine, and I was like saying, I said, "Why do you need an AR-15?" And he was like telling me this and that, this and that, and I was like thinking, I'm worried about how many lives could be killed by an AR-15, and he said, well, and I said, well, Europe doesn't let people have guns very easily, and they have hardly any murder compared to what we do. And he said, but guess what? What if, but their governments could take them over any second, and our government probably couldn't. And he shut me up. I was done. I was like, I worry about kids, and I worry about my own kids getting shot for no reason with school shootings and stuff like that. And maybe it's not like you said, it's the people doing it, and maybe our society's so messed up, people are shooting. And maybe it's our society, not the guns. It's a society.
Yeah,
our
man,
society's messed up.
Because, bro, look, after the 21st century, everything started falling apart, and everybody was doing that kind of bullshit. Everybody, look, let's just face it, okay? Freaking, whatchamacallit, before the 2000s, there wasn't people always doing that, man.
No, there wasn't.
There wasn't people going to school shooting each other. There wasn't kids killing kids. There wasn't none of that. Not to mention, and hey, look, did you know that there wasn't any heroin until after Vietnam?
I didn't know. I mean,
Put
I know
that
it's
in your
bad.
pipe and toke it.
I know it's bad. It's horrible. And and that's one reason why I think we had a problem with Afghanistan, because they were like one of the biggest poppy producers in the world. But like we like gave them all this money to fight Russia back in the 80s. So that's crazy too. So we gave them all that money to fight Russia. Then they won, and then like it's like now we're fighting against them. I don't get it.
I don't get it either, man.
It's crazy. It doesn't make any sense to me.
It might be because they saw that we wanted them to do our bidding, and they stood up and said, no, we're not going to fall for that anymore, because we lost a lot of men. We lost a lot of good people. So now, America, you can suck on it, and we're going to go to war with you because you guys made us fight another country for you.
And the thing is, I'm not going to, like, I love America. I think it's the best country, but we also could probably be our own worst enemy, probably. I mean, I think we're great, but we're also really bad too.
Yeah, I mean, compare a person to that. Compare me, for example.
Yes.
I'm a great person, but deep down, I'm like really suffering bad.
Yeah.
Like really bad. Like I'm tearing myself apart from the inside. I won't get into that because that's another topic for another show.
And we can get into it another time.
Well, yeah, we can. Yeah, but I get people to believe that I'm a good person. I don't do that on purpose. That's what people think of me. In my head, I'm thinking, you know what, guys, I don't really deserve this recognition. I don't really deserve any of that. Just let me be. And that's not really me being humble. That's just me knowing my place and knowing what I've done. I just don't think, and not to mention, I can't for the life of me keep a girl. Let's be honest here. It's because every girl that I've been trying to keep doesn't want to be kept by the right guy.
Oh yeah, I'm with you. I went through. Hey,
I
went through a lot of years too, man. I mean, we can talk about it later, but you tell me what the issues are for you, because it was hard for me too.
Right. I will gladly tell you. Okay, now listen. It's just like a vicious cycle, okay? Good girls treat bad guys good, and then the bad guys treat the good girls bad. And then it makes those good girls turn bad, and it makes good guys turn bad and start turning on each other. And now we don't know who to trust. We don't know who to keep. We don't know who we want in our lives. We don't trust anybody.
It's crazy.
And it's because, I mean, I know that back in the 60s and 50s and da-da-da-da-da, so on and so forth, wasn't like this. I know it hadn't had to have been. It had to not have been like this back then. And that's why I wish I was born back then, because I can't find my place in this generation. I just can't.
But I do feel like some people stayed together even though they probably shouldn't have. But I'm not a big proponent of divorce. I don't like it. I mean, right. I don't like it, and I think if you're with somebody and you commit to them, you should stick with it. And I've been lucky, I have. But
Yeah,
But
you're very, yeah.
but it's hard. I mean, I'm a minority.